open house. There was a reception for EOP students, newly admitted EOP students at the SAS office on the deck. And so we did as much as we could to make it a welcoming, kind of place for students. They checked in and they get travel stipend, and they have refreshments, there, and then they go off and visit their departments and go explore the campus, trying to make a decision as to whether they want to come to Cal Poly and accept the offer or not. And I couldn't help but notice this one young man, a transfer student as a matter of fact, who just seemed really shy and really sort of like off to a corner the whole time. And so they were supposed to check in, get their little travel stipend check, their goodies, maybe some refreshments, and then go and explore the campus. And he just sort of lingered there for the longest time. Make a longer story short, later I had a chance to chat with him a little bit more because I noticed that he needed just a little bit more warmth and welcoming. And he opened up and he said, Maria, he said, it just felt so different as soon as I walked in. And he pointed over towards the corner or the end of Grand Avenue, Inner Perimeter Road in front of the UU. So he had parked over at the structure, and he says, just walking up that walkway and coming over to Building 81 where SAS is, he said, it just feels so scary and so different. And I'm going, this is 2016. This is 29 years later, and probably about 31 years after I founded HBSA, and we still have students that are having the same experience that prompted me to actually start this club. So I started the club because of that, I needed a place. I needed a place where I felt good about who I was, felt comfortable, where I felt accepted, where I didn't feel as overwhelmed and scared and so different. And I remember clearly one day going in a class, listening to a student talking about going golfing with his teacher, and it dawned on me, how could I ever compete as a young, ambitious Latina trying to make her way in corporate America? How could I ever compete with kids that come here with affluence, with kids that are talking about going and playing golf with their professors? And it just hit me like a bucket of cold water. And I said, I walked away thinking, what can I do about this? And so that was really that breaking point when I decided that maybe a club for business students, so that if we were not going to be able to go play golf with our teachers, but at least we could have a place we could call our own, a place that can help us develop some professional skills and strengthen our personal skills as well. So I wanted excellence. I wanted to strengthen my own courage and that of my peers that were in the Orfalea at the time. I knew resiliency would have to be really important. I knew that us feeling accepted and feeling like, we just like, I got this, this is our place, that would build resiliency. I wanted teamwork. I wanted to be able to network with other students like me that could say, well, the heck if we can't be at the golf course right now, we'll be there later. But in the meantime, we're gonna network to make opportunities happen for ourselves. I wanted self-empowerment for us as well, especially within the Orfalea where we just felt really lost. And I definitely wanted us to not lose our personal identity and to really be validated for who we are and what we bring to the table at Cal Poly and within the Orfalea College of Business. So we wanted to create a welcoming space also so that other students that came after us wouldn't feel the same way. And we definitely wanted to have a place where we could be free to express who we were. Si queríamos hablar español, que pudiéramos hablar español. If we wanted to just kind of be who we were, we didn't have to come, put up a front and try to be someone that we were not. So those are the reasons that prompted me to, start this club. And I honestly, you've heard me say it before, some of you have heard me say it before, I never envisioned that I would be here, that many years later, sitting before you in this amazing, beautiful Madonna Inn. I don't think I ever came to Madonna Inn when I was an undergrad at all. I think I came after I was a professional. But that alone, for some of us who have never been to places like these or have had a banquet at this place, and I kudos to the board this year and to Wells Fargo under Mark Corrella's leadership for supporting the event and making it happen here. This is a big step for HBSA, and that leads me to share something else that the board asked me to talk about briefly, and that is, what would I expect to see from HBSA in the future? Thank you for that question, and I would actually encourage you to ask that question of yourself. So whether you are in your first year or graduating as a senior, constantly be asking yourself, as you go about your association with HBSA, what would I expect to see from HBSA in the future? Because that would be the vision that will help you and influence you as far as your actions and your dedication with the club right now. But what I would expect in the future, I would expect that professional development would continue and would actually be carried to a higher level. I would expect that HBSA becomes a playground for professional development in a setting where nobody feels intimidated. People feel comfortable to make mistakes, to ask questions that they may not feel as comfortable asking out there. So just a safe place where people can continue to develop themselves personally and professionally. A place where people would feel unconditional acceptance for where they are at that moment in life. Not a place where people would feel that they're being criticized and judged, but really where everyone would feel welcome, no matter what their ethnic background would be. You all have these, dreams or interests in business, whether you're a business major or not, and everybody should feel welcomed. Everybody should be able to come and have this playground where they could be accepted and continue to grow. I would also expect that the members would hold utmost professional and responsible behaviors and decision making. And that leads me to just sort of close with the fact that high standards and ambitious goals would be something that I would expect from the organization as a whole, but also it would start individually, because I think if all of you had those ambitious goals and the high standards, that would actually carry out and permeate within the organization. So I really see each individual with your own goals, with your own needs, with your own space where you might be at that moment, but really integrating with the organization so that it's really one entity together, each of you collectively coming together and forming that organization. And then in closing, success was something that I wanted to also talk a little bit about. And